Is your head full of noise? Sometimes it's not about changing who we are. It's about returning what was never ours to carry. In this video, we'll take a few gentle steps that will help sort the wheat from the chaff, to notice what belongs and gently let go of what doesn't. So let's pause for a moment. Let's take an honest look at the voices, roles and rules we've absorbed over the years and ask what feels true and what can finally be let go. Inherited voices sound like truth until you question them. If you sometimes feel like you're performing instead of living, you're probably still trying to follow old instructions, ones that were never really you. Beliefs don't just come from nowhere. They're absorbed, and in families, there are often unwritten roles. The carer, the sick one, the overachiever, the rebel. We're often fitted into these places by the people around us, sometimes by love, sometimes by habit, sometimes by sheer emotional survival. And it's not always just one role. We're multifaceted creatures and we adapt to the relationship. We might be a carer with our grandma, a competitor with a sibling, a rebel with a cousin. It's not about choosing one mask. It's about understanding the faces we've been wearing, often without realising it. And often the roles follow us into friendships, into workplaces, into adulthood. The friend who mothers, the one who's always worse off, the one who wins at everything, the one who stirs the pot. Even at school or work, roles like the sick one can be used like a tool, a way to avoid what feels unbearable. Sometimes it's easier to seek sympathy than face change. Sometimes it's safer to pull guilt than face rejection. For years I kept trying to be the good one, the helpful one. I didn't even question it. It was just a role I knew how to play. But now I realise I don't have to be good to be me. It was just a role I took on. When we pause as adults and ask, whose voice is that really? We begin to hear something quieter underneath, something steady, familiar, and ours. Your voice is the one that resonates. It feels good because it aligns with your values. It feels off when you suppress it because it's telling the truth. So try this. Write down a few conflicting thoughts and notice which ones feel heavy and which ones feel honest. The honest ones are yours, and the rest? Try writing "not mine" next to anything that no longer belongs to you, and let that be enough. What if the most powerful version of you isn't you, it's just been waiting? Learning more about ourselves often comes from wearing different hats in different situations. This isn't about reinvention, it's about re-becoming. Over time, we begin to notice the hats that no longer fit, which ones never really did, and which one we keep reaching for, the one that feels like home. Life shows us what fits when we start paying attention. There's a shift, a softening, when we let go of what jars and choose more of what brings ease. Our values are unique, and when we live by them, things feel right. Not perfect, not always easy, but aligned. Sometimes it feels like a sigh of relief, a quiet, finally. That moment when something inside you whispers, yes, this feels more like me. And as we reclaim those truths, those quiet homecomings, we feel more grounded, more peaceful. Not because life is perfect, but because we're no longer fighting our own rhythm. Whether we move faster, free of the weight, or more slowly, as we savour what's ours. Either way, it's our natural flow. And that's everything. I know once when I decluttered, I found an old scarf. I used to love it. Mum had made it for me. It felt like me. Sometimes this is part of what the process is, recognising what fits well and wearing it again. So as you reflect on the truths that are resurfacing, try writing "welcome back" next to them, because they're yours and they've been waiting. Having a reset doesn't mean starting over. It means starting with you. A recalibration, if you like a change of oil. The old gunk, those inherited beliefs and heavy stories, is released from the mental engine, and the new oil, your truths and your own natural rhythm, is flowing through again. In this context, a reset isn't about grand changes. It's about giving yourself small, steady anchors, something that brings you back when you drift. It might be a phrase you whisper when old thoughts creep in. It might be something you can touch or see, a trinket, a photo, a gesture, or maybe it's a song lyric that always lifts you. For me, it's "and I'm feeling good." It works every time. Rebuilding your inner dialogue isn't a one-hit wonder. It's a gentle rephrasing, a shift in tone, the same way you'd speak to a child, with kindness, patience and thoughtful care. So why not choose a phrase today one that can hold you, to help you to return to the version of you that's always been there, just waiting to be heard. Let that be your next step. You don't owe anyone a performance, especially not at the cost of your peace. Being yourself isn't a role, it's a presence. Performances are draining, often jarring, but being fully present, that's ease, that's alignment, that's home. There's a beautiful line by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And it's true. At first, being yourself can feel difficult, but the difficulty fades the more you do it, because the shoes are yours. They don't pinch. You can walk for miles in them. Proving yourself, or wearing costumes that don't quite fit, is exhausting. And what is there to prove, really? We all have as much right to be here as the next person. Claiming your spot as yourself may just be your truest purpose. Nobody else can live your life the way you can when you're being real. And sometimes it's easy to forget. Your greatest responsibility is to you. Because when you're fully yourself, you have more to offer others, not less. When we release roles we never chose, we create space, not for performance, but for presence. I know I spent years feeling like I had to keep trying harder, but now I realise my efforts were good enough. I was just trying to please the wrong people. So if you're not sure where to begin, try asking, what would I stop doing if I trusted that being me is enough? And if there's any doubt, let me say this clearly, you're more than enough. Additional roles are not required. When you begin listening to your inner voice and realise that it's not always yours, something shifts. You start to see what fits and what never did. Think of it like an emotional lost and found box. Maybe your voice got covered under everyone else's, and now you're finding it. Maybe you've been carrying around thoughts that don't belong to you, and now you get to return them. Sometimes always attending to other people's needs is a way of avoiding our own. But when you listen, really listen, it only brings freedom. And that freedom, it nourishes everything around you because you're living in alignment. You stop managing your life and start inhabiting it. Your energy is your own. Your space is your own. You are your own, fully and finally. It's taken me years to realise how long I've been living up to other people's scripts, even after they were long gone. But that recognition feels good, quiet, but real. So if your head's still full of noise, that's okay. Just start where you are and let the rest fall away. If you'd like to try sorting through your own emotional lost and found, I've made a one-page tool. It's a simple space to sort what's yours and what never was. You'll find it linked below.